Recording.
Yeah.
So welcome, church family of the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Judith Roberts, and I'll be your host tonight. I welcome you to our midweek oasis. This is a time when we come together in community. It's a place where we gather to be spiritually refreshed between Sundays. Most Wednesday nights services build upon the theme of the previous Sunday, expressing science of mind principles and practices with the intention that these gatherings are informal, intimate, and interactive. Our annual theme for 2025 is Rising Higher, Growing Deeper. Our monthly theme for March is the flow of coming and going. Last Saturday, Reverend Dr. Michelle Coleman introduced ideas inspired by the talk title of Navigating the Tides of Life. And tonight, our speaker will continue the exploration of this same topic. So as we gather tonight, I really want to welcome you. If you're new to our community or watching our recording, please visit our homepage at www.oaklandcsl.org and click on the I'm New icon and look at the lower left-hand corner of the page to submit your email address. Once you do, you'll begin receiving the village news on Thursdays in your email. It has all the information on what is happening at the center in the coming weeks. Before we get started with the talk, please mute your own audio microphone during tonight's service. You can leave your camera on. And when you mute your audio microphone, it will improve the quality of our recording and tonight's transmission. So please stay tuned through the end of the service to receive special and important announcements. Our speaker tonight is Crystal Fry. Crystal is a powerful change agent in her work as an inclusive leadership coach and consultant with over 15 years experience supporting leaders and teams to achieve their goals and build cultures aligned with their values. Blending neuroscience, spirituality, and conscious leadership models, Crystal delivers transformative leadership development and DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, initiatives and interventions. She helps clients break through barriers of habit, culture, and institutional inertia to build safe and inclusive workplaces. So, Crystal, thank you in advance for being our speaker tonight. As we do with every organized event at the center, we open with prayer, and I will be opening us with prayer tonight. So I invite you to just settle in, close your eyes if you choose to, take a deep breath. Settle into your chair, relax, move into stillness. And I know that this breath is the breath of life, given by the one, given by the divine, given by the creator. It is what sustains us, and it is what every one of us has in common, the gift of life. And so I know that as I experience the presence of the divine right here and right now, I know that this service is guided by spirit. It's guided by the divine. And that our speaker, Crystal, is guided by the divine. And that as she opens herself at the top, as she opens to the inspiration of the one, she allows it to flow through her to us. And that she shares with us her wisdom, her knowledge, her experience, and that her words of wisdom reach each person who is listening tonight, either in person online or listening to the recording later, that her words touch us, open us, deepen us, inspire us. And so we are blessed to have Crystal speaking with and to us tonight. And I know that this entire service is blessed tonight. It is an expression of the one, it is an expression of the divine. And so I give thanks for this and the more, and I invite you to say with me, and so it is. Thank you. And now I would like to turn this over to Crystal.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Judith. It is so great to be here with you all tonight. Thank you for joining our Oasis. I want to follow Reverend Sunshine's lead in acknowledging what I'm sensing around me in this moment. I cannot help but notice there is a real rising tide of the current administration's policies, cuts, freezes, tariffs. There's all this chaos happening around us. And so when I started thinking about navigating the tides of life, I couldn't help but notice that this tide that's really coming at us all. And I think with last night's address, we really felt it. It's a very strange time when there is this wave of white supremacy, patriarchy, capitalism, all coming at us in a new and unabashed way. It's quite alarming. And so I think it's really important for us as a spiritual community to acknowledge what is going on in our larger community. And for me, I just have there's all of that going on in the exterior, in the media, in the news. I know it's impacting people all around, but the tide is also getting closer. As Judith mentioned, I'm a diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant. So I am looking at a whole new landscape for work. And I feel so privileged and blessed to be a part of this community and to know that I am one with the power and presence of the infinite, and to know that I have the power to co-create something new and to pivot and shift. But the encroaching waters, it feels like they're just getting closer and closer. It's also my best friend who moved to Washington, D.C. last year to take a fellowship with the White House, who's now lost his job and made this move for no reason, but stuck in a lease in D.C. in a place he doesn't want to be. It's my friend who moved here from Jamaica to escape the homophobic culture there and to find his autistic son good care, who now feels so threatened in his rural community that he's considering moving to Brazil. So it's like these tides they're coming close. And so I want to hold each other in this time, and I want to acknowledge the tides. At first, I felt like it was a rising tide because it's feeling like it's coming so low. But then when I really thought about it, I'm like, this is a low tide, right? This is the tide going out, and we are seeing what has been hidden, what has been unhealed for decades, centuries in American history. And so when I look at that low tide, and I love that Judith brought this up before we even started the meeting, I was thinking when Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. So we know where we want to be, and we know where we want to stay. And as metaphysicists, we know what our job is. Our job is to hold faith, to hold the vision and to treat and then move our feet. So while the tides are out low, that's what I feel called to do together with you all tonight. And I really liked what Senator Elissa Slotkin of Michigan responded last night. She reminded us that this is not the first time in our political history that we have had insecurity, that we have been threatened by fascism, that we have had oppressive legislation and policies, backlash, as you would say. And what she said helped us get through before and can help us now is being engaged citizens and principled leaders. And so I know that we are in a time of great flux and chaos. But I was thinking about the tides, right? Whether it's a rising tide we're experiencing in that way, and sometimes the low tide, it's always in flux. And I was thinking about Inauguration Day. And the day before inauguration, I was actually in Sea Ranch. Had rented a house. My friend was visiting from DC, and we were getting out of town. That's a long story. We had to get out of town because somebody was getting out of jail as well. But so it was already kind of a wild time in our life. Everybody was feeling just like, wow, the inauguration is coming. Thank goodness again that we are together in this. And we started hearing about this storm that was coming. And it was going to be like 50-foot sneaker waves. Like, we're thinking we got to be careful. Like, the dog, we got to protect the dog because we like to take the dog on the beach. We don't want to, lose it to the ocean. We were like, oh, maybe we should drive another way. We're changing our plans, all because everybody was saying this great storm was coming and it was going to be bad. And, we had to be careful. And so I remember going to bed that night and thinking, wow, we really didn't get any good weather this weekend, and it's only getting worse from here. And the next day I woke up to one of the most beautiful sunrises I've ever seen in my life. And I immediately felt confused because I didn't expect to see the sun at all. And so I went outside, and it was so beautiful and so still that even though I was freezing cold, I just sat there and I watched the sun come up, and I could feel that I was being soothed by nature. And the two messages that were coming to me in this moment were, one, you don't know. We don't know. We don't know what's coming. And as metaphysicists, we know that we have the power to co-create with what is coming. So let's remember that there is room for miracles. There is room for change. There is room for transformation. And the power of love is the greatest power of all. Two, I felt like nature was saying to me, I've seen worse. And there's something in that. I looked today, I was like, well, has she seen worse? Because it seems like there's conflict everywhere right now. What's happening in Gaza, in Ukraine, in the Congo, in Colombia. I mean, everywhere there is conflict, right? So I just kind of looked up to see what the numbers were. Less than 100,000 people died from war. I'm sorry, less than 300,000 people died from war last year, whereas in World War II, it was several million people were dying every year, and like up to like 60 million. So she has seen worse, right? Like, we sometimes forget because there's these comings and goings. There's these tides and things look really bad and then they get better and then they look worse. And, there's this ebb and flow to life and evolution and creation. And sometimes we forget that there is a clear trajectory towards peace on this planet. And so I feel grounded in that, and I feel grounded in nature, and I want to practice right now the oasis, shifting from the outward appearance, because we all know what's going on there, to this space, like literally holding hands. I mean, I'm kind of feeling like a circle here, right? We're together. We have this oasis, and I want to go into our bodies for a moment just to sense the safety, the resource, the power, the providence, the abundance that is available to us. So I'm just going to ask you to take a load off, to lean into your seats, to lean into your skin, to lean into your bones, allowing yourself to be held in and up by your skin and your bones. There's nothing you have to do. Allowing the full weight of your body to be held by the chair. I want you to take one hand and put it on your belly. And with your next breath, we're going to breathe as if we're breathing up energy from the earth, breathing into our stomach and saying out loud the word trust. Okay, let's do it again. Breathing through our nose to the belly, breathing Earth's energy up. Trust. And when we say trust, we're just trusting the earth to hold us, to carry us, to provide for us as she always has. Remembering that the earth provides everything we need to breathe, to live, to be, to thrive on this planet. So we can just lean into her support, knowing that she's got us. One more time, breathing in. Earth energy from below. And saying out loud the word trust. Just see how that feels. And now I want you to take a second hand and put it on your heart. Take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, receive energy from above. Allow it to land in your heart and say out loud the word flow. So we're taking a deep breath in, and as we breathe out, we receive divine energy from above to our hearts, and we say out loud, flow. This is just inviting our being to flow in divine time, in the will of the one mind, the highest and greatest good for all of us. So we're going to put it together now, breathing in the earth's energy from below, saying out loud, trust, breathing out, universal cosmic love from above, receiving it in our hearts and saying flow. Okay, one more time, trust and flow. And this is one technique we can use for navigating the tides, the ebb and flow, the coming and going. Pema Chodron reminds us that things are either falling apart or they're coming together. There's no static one thing. And so our best strategy for navigating the tides is to stay present so that we can respond in the moment to what actually requires our attention, to the needs of our bodies, of our relationships, of our communities. I have a few techniques for navigating these particular tides. And I'm going to share those first. So one is going home. And when I say going home, I'm talking about my parents' house. But my parents passed away a long time ago. So when I talk about my parents' house, I'm actually talking about the places where I feel like I belong the most in the world. My mother's house is nature, and my father's house is the church. This is just how it makes sense to me. You don't have to give it too much thought. But I pay attention. I try to pay attention to when I need either one of those. Do I need my mother's love to soothe me, to remind me that everything flows and is ordered in nature? Do I need my father's guidance to redirect my mind to help me get focused on what matters? You know, so that's one, going home. And I guess I would wonder, where do you most belong? Where's your home? Where do you go when you need to escape the tides? When you need to touch base, when you need to feel your belonging? Just notice that. And if you don't have any place, call me. We're gonna find one for you. Another one of my strategies for navigating these flows is seeking higher ground or getting down to it. So sometimes when the floods are coming, the water's getting high, you don't want to go under. So you've got to like move to higher ground. For me right now, that higher ground is joy and connection. That's my strategy. That's my resilience strategy. And you can't tell me different. You can't tell me I can't have joy. You can't tell me I can't have connection. And I'm going to prioritize those hardcore right now. But sometimes when the tides are really low, like we were talking about, I mean, like really low, like we're going to be what did he say? He said, we're going to be the most dominant nation in the world. No, sir, we will not. So when that happens, right? Sometimes when the tides are low, you got to get down to it. And what I mean by get down to it is to engage, activate, do something for good, find your part, make a call. If you don't know what to do, come to the Social Justice Ministry meeting first Sunday of every month. We'll hook it up. Again, we're in this together. But with both of these strategies, you got to stay present and you got to pay attention to yourself and what's needed. You have to respond to yourself. You have to respond to the people you love, and you have to respond to what's going on in the community. And it's a constant ebb and flow, right? Do you need to disconnect and give yourself that spirit, that oasis, go to your parents' house, connect with a friend, or do you need to get down to it and engage and activate? Only you can know. And as the one divine shepherd of your body, that's your job. Your top job right now is to navigate these tides with integrity and well-being. And then the third strategy for navigating these tides is to stay together. Okay, we've got to remember our principle of oneness. There is no us and them, there is only we, even though it's really uncomfortable. And so I'm looking at the time. What I know about the oneness and about loving everyone and everything as ourselves is that we must be able to love, accept, to welcome and embrace every aspect of ourselves in order to do that out in the world. And so when I talk about the we consciousness, I know it starts within, with all of our aspects of ourselves, because sometimes we don't like parts of our we, right? We've got inner children, we've got shadows, we've got, I have like some jealous parts that I don't like, or, there's all these sorts of things. So what we're going to do together to wrap up, and then we'll kind of have some discussion about it, is to embrace ourselves in a unified state. So we can't be one with the world, and we can't reach this we consciousness if we can't be at one with ourselves and in full embrace of our full selves. So we're going to do just one more somatic practice before we break for some group discussion. And I want you just to lean back in, maybe do a couple more trust and flow breaths, trusting that the earth has got you and will provide everything you need to be flowing in divine consciousness, divine love, and divine order. And I just want you to call up some aspect of yourself that maybe you find a little more challenging to love, to accept. Okay, and whatever that is, let it be, don't go too deep with this. Just let it be what it is. Whatever comes up first is good to work with. All we're going to do with this is notice what we feel in the body. Where do we feel it in the body, and what do we notice? As we think about this aspect of ourselves that is not our very favorite, where do we notice it in the body, and what do we notice? And whatever you're noticing right now, it could be ease, tension, pain, pleasure, whatever it is, however it feels. It could be nothing or numbness. Just circle in your mind's eye what it is. Draw a circle around it and just say yes. Exactly as you are, exactly as it is. We're here together saying yes. Notice how that area, how that feeling and sensation responds when you say yes. And whatever that response is, go ahead and circle it. In your mind's eye, circle it. And say yes. Just loving exactly what is right here, right now, together. Notice how that part of you responds. And whatever the response is, once again, circle it and say yes. Notice if there's any response. Just notice what happens when you say yes to yourself and to your most challenging aspects. And know that you can do this anytime, anywhere. This is free. And this is powerful somatic work in the body. This is an invitation to heal. Because as we heal ourselves, we heal each other and we heal the planet. And so I just want to thank you for going there with me, for coming here, for being together. We're going to break out into, well, you know what? Actually, since we're only 10, Freddie, let's just have open discussion. I feel like we'll be able to hear everybody. We'll have time to hear everybody how their experience was. And I would love to hear what happens to you when you say yes, and then you say yes, and then you say yes, and then you keep saying yes to yourself and your body. What happened for you? Anything?
Yeah, actually, if I can go, um, it was, I don't know how to describe it. It's similar to kind of like when you were a kid and you would pick up a dandelion and you would like blow on it and then all of the little pieces would go. It was one thing that came up for me was like self-criticism and just like being hard and then just saying yes or and just like accepting it and loving it. It was just like and then it just kind of like flew away and I was like, oh, this is nice and just kind of being more in myself and I could just feel myself kind of be at ease and like I don't know, just kind of letting things go. And then also funny enough, I was talking with a friend today and he was saying that trust has been coming up a lot, like he's just been hearing it and hearing it, and then being in the other somatic exercise with you and you saying trust, I was like, oh, like I'm just starting to pick up on those things as well. So I just thought that was a funny little thing.
I love that, Freddie, and especially with the visual of the dandelion, because wouldn't we just love to do that with the whole administration? Just, and then they're like, ease. Ah,
Oh,
I have something to say.
wonderful.
So Freddie, I know you're a graphic designer, right?
And yeah, an illustrator. Mhm.
So, it might be really nice for you to draw or do a picture of the dandelion.
Yeah, I'll remember that.
Mhm.
Just as a reminder, even if it's just for myself or yeah, just to have that moment. Mhm.
Andrea, did anything happen in your experience when you said yes? Freddie.
Yeah, so as usual, my mind started working and I started thinking about something that I came up with, I don't know, in the last 6 months sometime. And I've always struggled with this idea that we are all one and yet we all are different. And so I came up with this idea. It's all my own idea that really that we need to confront the truth of that we are all one and we are many at the same time. And that really what we are experiencing is a dialectic between ourselves as individuals and our experiences with others in our communities. And there's no one that's out there. The dialectic is interactive and it's constantly growing and developing. And our experience in the world is all about the self and the other interacting over and over and over again as God downloads through us. That's what I thought about.
Wow.
Anybody else notice anything shift as they said yes to their whole self?
Judith Fraunglass.
There's I felt resistance initially, and I just kept on with that, looking at what was, it had to do with not wanting to look at some things undone in the past that I still carry with them. So this was an opportunity to just try out, looking at the things that I said, I don't like that I didn't do that, I didn't do that. Things could have been different now in my life if I had. And I just continuing to say yes allowed some light and some lightening of feelings toward those things. It's not important what they are, actually. It's just several things. And I felt it just get lighter. It got lighter, and the yes became easier to say. And something that I think I want in a different way. I can look at some of the things from the past and say, yes, that happened. And I'm here today. And so it gave me the way to say yes to that, and to be here today, and to be moving from this place. Anyway, it allowed some things to feel lighter.
Yeah.
I'm complete.
That's awesome, Judith. Thank you for sharing. Okay, well, I have another question if nobody else has anything more to share on that experience. Last call for shifts with the yes, 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 and yes.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. All right. So I don't know if you guys remember. I mean, I don't know if you all remember, but Reverend Sunshine had a very powerful sermon a few weeks ago when she talked about leaning in and holding on.
Yeah.
And it kept coming up for me as I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about staying together, and I was thinking about my strategy of joy and connection. And so I want to know for you all, where are you leaning in and holding on? Or are you not? Are you is that inaccessible in this times? Because sometimes it feels like that for me. Deborah, yes, I see you raising your hand. Welcome.
Thank you. Number one, your other exercise was absolutely magical for me. And it's flowing into the answer, because when you say leaning in, I have to lean in more to spirit and to hold on. I utilize my tools a lot these days because I feel as if I've been dumped off a cliff. And I'm sometimes having to paddle as I'm going down and allow God in its wings to bring me back up. And so my leaning in is to absolutely know that regardless to how much I fall off this cliff, and I do, that God has a soft landing, and it consistently, as I hold on, will allow me to come back up. And so my leaning in is leaning into spirit, and my holding on is allowing God's rescue.
Mm.
Yeah. And so that's because I'm falling off a cliff often these days. And so I got to lean in and hold on. I'm complete.
Thank you, Deborah. Yes. Alice?
Hi. The exercises were really good for me. That additional push to be aware of my body and my breathing. For me, it was just almost a physical representation of faith and trust, you know, that the letting go and still being solid, you know, the relaxing and being present and being cared for. And, you know, just knowing that I am and whose I am, and I'm at the right place because I feel it, you know, I just feel that in those exercises. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm complete.
Thanks for joining us, Alice, and also for bringing, that is the fifth cat who is here with us now. So I think we have almost as many cats as people.
Yeah, they're trying to take over.
Yes, Judith, and then we'll go to iPhone.
Okay. I wanted to say the exercise was really impactful for me. When you said something about going to a thought or a feeling that's challenging for us. And I came up with something, and I kind of got sent back to 3 years old when that feeling originated. And I ended up having a lot of release around it. It was released through breath. I mean, it was powerful. I was surprised, really surprised that that's what happened. And then as far as leaning in, what I'm leaning into is the good, the true, and the beautiful. And not ignoring, not putting my head in the sand, you know, not playing ostrich, and not pretending that the downward spiral that we seem to be seeing is happening. I'm fully aware, and I'm keeping myself aware, and I am taking action. And so it's a both and. being aware of that and keeping myself informed and taking action as I see fit and leaning into the good, the true, and the beautiful.
Mm,
And
Mm.
remembering that that is there and it's all around. It's all around. It's here, and we're moving into springtime. And I went to Filoli Gardens on Sunday and
Oh,
daffodils are blooming and the
wow.
the tulips and wisteria and cherry blossoms are coming. And it's, so just immersing myself in beauty when and where I can and in nature and staying aware and informed of what's going on externally and breathing, leaning into my own inner resources. So it's leaning into the external as well as the internal beauty. Mainly for me, that's through meditation. And
Mm.
I'm complete.
I love that, Judith. And I really felt spring for the first time, like really felt spring today for the first
Oh,
time. So I am right there
oh,
with you. And I'm also thrilled to hear that you had, a somewhat profound experience with this, because what I believe is that it's the simplest practices that can have the greatest impact. And so
Yeah.
like this is a practice I learned like 5 years ago, and then I forgot about it for like 4 years.
Yeah.
oh.
And I just brought it back, and I'm like, holy moly, this is gold. Like, how did I just forget about this? So, it's really taking the practices when we learn them and just actually practicing. I wanted to go to iPhone.
Hi.
Phone is Grady.
Oh, Grady, I'm so glad you're here, love. Would you like to share a little bit about where you're leaning in and holding on?
Uh, no, it's unstuck.
Oh, it's Unsut. Just
Hi.
kidding. We're love that you're here too.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I speak? Was there someone else who was gonna speak?
No, we just because it said iPhone before, we thought
Oh,
it was Grady.
oh, I
It's
see. Okay.
Unsut.
Yeah, this is my first time coming on a Wednesday, and it's good because I really needed it. That sense of connection. You know, the what Deborah was sharing kind of rang true for me, like falling off a cliff, and it feels like it's kind of like daily happening right now. I'm going through a very ugly divorce, and when you're asking Krista, like, where's home? I don't know anymore. It used to be, this was my family, and now all of a sudden it's not there. And the person that I thought I loved has become like such a monster. Uh, and I just feel right now like a hostage in my own home. Uh, and I'm trying to lean in every day. So I've been doing my meditation and my prayers twice a day, and just holding on to that. Just but each time, when there's like a blow or when this person does something it's like it just I kind of fall to my knees and then try to pick myself back up again and this sense of uncertainty, like how long is this gonna go on, like it's just it's really hard and you just feel like and I'm trying to like accept that who this person is, but there's still a part of you that's kind of hoping like maybe that person's higher self will surface, but each time it's like the person shows their true colors and you just like you're like how do you fight that, and then you start to doubt God because you're like you know is God forsaking me, like why is like someone who's done all these awful things and continues to do so, like it doesn't seem like, and there's no accountability, and it's like, and I don't, and I'm trying not to go there, and trying to just like trust, like you're talking about trust. But it's hard. It's hard. It's like a daily challenge, to kind of, hold on to the trust and the faith. So, but this is good, having this, community, just like, when I realized, like, oh my God, they're having it on Wednesday. Let me, and so, at least I don't feel so alone right now. So, which is good. So thank you for this sense of community.
And so thank you so much for sharing. It's heavy on my heart to know that you're experiencing this right now. And I'm also so glad that you're here with us and that you're talking about it. And I know that we all extend love and hold you in.
Oh, thank you so much. That's very, very profound and touching. Thank you. Because
Who is
I need
speaking?
that.
Who is
This
speaking?
is what was that? It's Unsuck?
Who is it?
Unsuck?
I don't know if that's the right spelling, but that's what
Oh, yeah.
close.
It's close. K at the end.
Oh,
Unsuk.
Yeah, there. Yeah, oh, and then S. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Yeah.
thank you, Gabriella.
So
Yeah.
I want to say that feel free to reach out to any of the practitioners or anyone else you feel comfortable with for prayer. Anytime,
Oh,
anytime.
thank you.
Because we are here. We are here for
Okay.
you.
Oh,
And
thank
I
you.
would be happy to pray with you. Any of us would be happy to pray with you.
Oh, you're so kind.
Anytime that you feel hurting or down or despairing or anytime you just when
Okay.
you just need a shift and you just need to be lifted up, just reach out because
Okay.
we're here.
And there's
Thank-
also the prayer line, Judith, as well. There's a prayer on that as well.
Dorothy, do you want to drop that phone number in the chat?
It's calling the center itself
Oh,
and
okay.
hitting number 6. And that's the prayer line. 547-1979. And you hit number 6 and you will hear a prayer on the prayer line.
Okay.
And if you go to our website online, there's a list of practitioners and contact numbers,
Okay.
names and phone numbers, and just reach out to whoever you're comfortable with.
Oh,
'Cause we're there.
thank you so much, Judith.
Yeah, we're there for you.
Thank you. I know. I tell myself, this too shall pass. It won't be forever, but it's like when you're going through it, it feels, like a, like a, I don't know, a pit. Like you're like, kind of sinking, and so fighting that hand. I really appreciate that. So I'll definitely keep that in mind. Thank you.
Keep coming
Thank you.
back.
And so, yeah.
Yes, keep
And-
coming back.
And
Yeah,
I also
I
think
I'll
there's,
do that. I'll come
Yeah.
back. I never came on Wednesdays, but the fact that it's kind of,
Andrea?
you're cutting out a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and, okay, I'm gonna let Andrea speak.
And then we need to segue to the
Oh, okay.
announcements. We're gonna go overtime tonight. So if you need
A
to
little
drop,
bit.
we're gonna go overtime a little bit. Andrea?
So during the pandemic, I noticed that there's something called Cal Hope. If you go online, you can find it, and it's mental health support for youth, young adults, and families. You'd be a family. a new type of family, and the English, it's a warm line, so you can call anytime, and it looks like the number is 833-317-HOPE.
833.
317-HOPE. And then in parentheses, it says 4673. Oh, that's the HOPE.
Nice.
Unsuk, does that make sense to you? Maybe she got off.
No, sorry, I couldn't
You were good.
unmute.
She was
I
muted.
couldn't, sorry, I couldn't unmute. No, thank you. I wrote it down, so definitely I'll check that out. You know, especially like, I know like last Friday, like it was like 11 o'clock, and I started to kind of really fall apart, and I was calling my friends, and no one picked up, and finally one friend picked up, and oh my God, it was like a lifeline, and she prayed with me, and it really kind of helped me to just sleep during the night, and so. Thank you for this number, because you know sometimes you don't know when these kind of moments hit you, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
and so if you Google CAL, C-A-L, and then HOPE, it's all one word.
okay,
It's
thank you.
calhope.org.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And Unsuk, I'm sorry for calling you Grady. She usually is the one on the iPhone.
No worries.
Okay, so we're wrapping up, and just my final thought here on navigating the tides. I've noticed I've had a lot on my plate professionally. Like it's definitely like a moment of expansion, and it's been happening for a lot of my clients too. And I'm noticing that as we are under more stress, we're beginning to perceive our blessings as burdens. And the theme keeps coming up. It's like these great opportunities, these great things that are happening, they start to feel like they're a burden, like there's something we have to do. And so in the same way, sometimes our greatest burdens become our greatest blessings. And so in this idea of thinking about the flux and the flow and knowing that we are one, I just want to invite you to see your blessings and your burdens as fuel for your growth, your well-being, and our
Mhm.
collective evolution.
You- Yeah.
And that's it. So now we do some announcements, right, Judith?
Yes, and we're gonna go over time. If you can stay on.
Apologies, that's probably my fault.
We have a lot of announcements, and I think we're gonna probably close at about 8:10. So if you can stay on for these, it would be great. Freddie is running the PowerPoint. So our first announcement is that this Sunday, March 9th, Reverend Dr. Sunshine Michelle Coleman will be speaking on the still small voice. Meditation starts at 10 and it is followed by service at 10:30. On Wednesday, March 12th, for our Wednesday night service, Reverend Ikea Param we'll have a conversation with her on the same topic, the still small voice. Meditation is at 6:30 and the service is at 7 by Zoom. Our daily readers for 2025 are 365 Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes and Daily Gratitude Reflections, Volume 2 by Deborah Perdue. Join us for these, and I think you can find the books in our bookstore. And then the Season for Nonviolence is happening January 30th through April 4th for 64 days, commemorating the anniversaries of the deaths of Mohandas Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. Pick up your daily affirmations at the front table of the sanctuary. And we celebrate Lent March 5th, that's from today, through April 17th. Choose something that distracts you from staying grounded and fast from it during this Lenten time. fast and pray for greater groundedness, focus, and serenity. This Sunday, March 9th, we have an author panel at the center from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Join authors Dr. Jean Hightower, Mark Juarez, and Reverend Verona Garland for a fun discussion, and you can purchase signed copies of their books at the event, which will be facilitated by Sri Devi Ramathan. The Women's Spiritual Empowerment Group continues with another session in the 6-week series on March 16th after service, 12:45 p.m. to 2:15 p.m. in the sanctuary. All are welcome to join this lively discussion. And we welcome back Reverend Dr. Georgia Prescott on March 16th for her workshop after service. Her talk is called, her workshop is called Just Say No, Hell No to Aging Gracefully. Come join us for a lively and fun discussion in the social hall. Visit oaklandcsl.org and select classes and workshops to register. And please join the Ministry of Prayer for Friday night prayer happy hours starting Friday, March 21st from 7 to 8 on Zoom, except for the 4th Friday of the month. This is an open hour that will start with a centering meditation and then provide the opportunity for community and individual prayer with practitioners Maureen French and Megan Lemon. This is a new thing. This sounds really interesting. This is an open invitation to anchor in prayer with your spiritual community. Please visit oaklandcsl.org/events and click on the image and use the passcode 123456. Ramadan is February 28th through March 29th. It's the most sacred month of the year in the Islamic culture. Muslims observe the month of Ramadan to mark that Allah, or God, gave chapters of the Quran to the Prophet Muhammad in the year 610. Our nonprofit partner for March and April is the New Bridge Foundation, a nonprofit non-medical addiction treatment facility with over 50 years of experience. Visit newbridgefoundation.org for more information. And the 2025 annual meeting will be held on Sunday, March 23rd after service at 1 p.m. Bring a potluck dish to share. We encourage in-person participation and join us via live stream if you cannot come in person. All are encouraged to attend. And Community Potluck, Bring a Friend Sunday is kicking off every 4th Sunday, beginning with March 23rd after the annual meeting. Board member Deborah Jackson is leading this project and is assembling a committee for setup and cleanup. Contact Deborah at deborah@oaklandcsl.org for more information. This is also a new thing. Sounds wonderful. And save the date, our OCSL 80th anniversary gala celebration is September 19th through 21st, 2025. Other events will also be held throughout the year. Stay tuned for more information coming soon. And we are the change. Bring your spare coins to OCSL and drop them in the designated collection jars in the sanctuary, ongoing for the entire year. Every small contribution adds up to big change for our community. Together, we make a difference, one coin at a time. Our chair dedication program continues. Purchase a platinum, gold, silver, or bronze plate with your own inscription to be installed on the back of one of our chairs. Go to oaklandcsl.org events page for more information and to complete the form. The Spirit Treasure Bookstore celebrates Women's History Month with a 30% off on all books by women authors. And daylight savings times begins March 9th. So this is a reminder to spring forward on your clocks for 1 hour. Yay. Yay. Okay, and please visit our website at oaklandcsl.org and sign up for our weekly newsletter, The Village News. Remember to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook for special updates. Like and subscribe to Oakland Center Today. And visit csl.org to see what is happening within our Centers for Spiritual Living global organization. Please visit our website at oaklandcsl.org and sign up for, oh, I think I said that already. Yes, I did. Okay, and now I want to highlight our contact team. So here we have the people at OCSL who are helping this community to thrive. Key people. We have, of course, our senior minister, Reverend Dr. Sunshine Michelle Coleman, co-lead of the Ministry of Prayer, Megan Lemon, who is a practitioner. Another co-lead of the Ministry of Prayer is Maureen French, also a practitioner. Our board president, Beth Van Arkel, our operations coordinator, Steve Carter, and Susan Brecker, who is our facilities usage coordinator and practitioner, and our bookkeeper, Dow Becker. So shout out to all of them for the great work they do, and, you know, labor of love on all of their parts. And so now we want to move into our joyous giving time. So I would like to invite you to say with me, you probably want to mute your microphone, but say with me this affirmation. I freely give what I have, and the divine source multiplies it in return. And so it is. And so if you feel inspired to donate to our center, you can go on to the oaklandcsl.org website and click the donate button, and then you will have many ways you can give. You can give by Zelle, you can text, you can use this QR code, you can write a check, you can donate by credit card, and of course, if you're there in person, you can donate cash in our offering basket. So we welcome and honor all offerings, however great or small. Everything is appreciated and welcome, and we thank you. And now I want to thank our Oasis team. Of course, I want to thank our wonderful speaker, Crystal Fry, who, oh, what a beautiful discussion and somatic exercises she led us through. And Crystal led our meditation at the beginning of service. I want to thank in advance Judith Frauenglass, who is going to close us out in prayer. I want to thank our ministerial support, Reverend Elena Hutchinson, who hosts this Oasis every other week, Reverend Ikea Param, who is often with us on Wednesday nights, and of course, Reverend Dr. Sunshine Michelle, who is often here on Wednesday nights and who is, of course, supporting and behind everything that's going on at our center. And I want to thank Freddie Lambright III, who is our interim AV lead for Wednesday nights. And Freddie is doing the job of 3 people. He's running the PowerPoints, he's spotlighting and muting people, he's recording, and he's basically just keeping us running throughout the service and helping facilitate the discussion. And so thank you, Freddie, in advance. Freddie will be with us through March, and then after that, we're going to see. We're looking for another permanent person. So if you know anyone, please let us know, somebody who might be a candidate. And I want to thank Steve Carter, who is our operations coordinator, and he prepares all of our documents for Wednesday night, our slides and our announcements. So I want to give a shout out to Steve as well. So now I would like, Freddie, can you bring us back so that we're all on together? And I would like to just invite everybody to give some love to Crystal for this wonderful talk tonight.
Yay.
Let her know. Yeah.
Thanks, y'all.
Yay.
Crystal,
Yay, Crystal.
thank you. Thank you,
Woo.
Crystal.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was beautiful,
great to be here
Crystal.
with you.
Very, very, very deepening and very, I loved the talk and you did a great job. Judith, can you close us out in prayer?
Yes. So let's breathe into our hearts, breathe into our bellies. Let's just take a breath in and just let it all go. And as we come to the end of our wonderful time together, we will take with us so much that we will remember through tonight, through tomorrow, and from this point on. We will remember who we are and whose we are, the one power, the one presence, the divine love intelligence that we call God or Spirit. And as we move forth through this time and through tomorrow and all the tomorrows, we don't do any of this alone. We know that we walk hand in hand and heart with God. And as we take with us so much rich knowingness from this talk tonight from Crystal, we say thank you. Thank you to Crystal. Thank you to God. Thank you to ourselves for being present. And the only thing I would want in an addition would be that when we wake up every morning, as Reverend Victor used to remind me, it's important to begin the day by saying, I love myself just the way I am. And we can do that. And it doesn't matter what's going on outside. We can love ourselves just the way we are. And so we let that go. We take all the good stuff with us that we have learned and we let it go. And we remember, as we remember who we are and whose we are. And we can just put our hearts into it like the tide coming in and going out. And we simply say together, if anything resonates with you, please say this with me together. And so
And
it
so
is.
it is. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Judith. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody who's attended tonight and who's participated in any way. And again, thank you, Crystal, for your lovely presentation tonight.
Yes.
Thank you all for coming. Have a
Yeah.
great night.
Just beautiful. So now I'm going to count down
Oh.
from 5 to 1 and
All right.
and we'll close out our evening. So 5, 4,
I'm gonna listen to this again.
2, 1. Good night, everybody.